What we are going to cover in this training program? Basics of R, and then we create a STTM dataset using R, creation of a Adam datasets using the packages of a Farmaverse, which is the Admiral packages, and creation of a table listing figure using R. This is the overall plan we have for this batch. Okay, so I'll go through few of the basic things. I'll show you how simple the R programming is. You can either write your code in a console, or you can also write the code here in the editor window. Why we cannot write in the console, I'll tell you, but let's do few things first. Just write a simple code 5 plus 6, and then after enter. Result is 11. In a SAS, if you're doing this, you need to create one data set, right? A equal to 5, B equal to 6, and then use this operator or sum function. 5 plus 6, 11. Let's say, let's create a variable, or we can also call it here as an object. Create an object or variable which have the value as, let's say, value it has as 5. We use a equal to operator in a SAS, but in a R, this will work, but this is not the like preferred. We should use something called as the operator. If you use command minus or alt minus, yes, alt minus. In your Mac, you can use command minus. This is called as the operator, that you are assigning the value for the X variable or object here in R. So let's say we are assigning the value of X as 5. For Y, we are assigning the value as 6. Wanted to see the sum of this variable X and Y. Just use the sum function. Sum function, and as you know that whenever you use function, there would be a open and close bracket. This was the case even in the SAS as well. Sum of X variable and Y variable, and just write enter. See, you can see the value as 11. Problem is, if you write the code in your console, this is running, but you can't save this program. So that's the reason we should always write our code in the editor window, in the script. So same thing, 5 plus 6. And here to run this code, you need to select this and use this run icon, or there is a shortcut key, which is shift command enter. If you are on a window, you have to use shift alt enter. You can see the value 5 plus 6 value is 11. And I can save my program. Window S or command S, you can save your program. So let me save this program, R underscore code. Extension is .r. If it's a SAS program, we have to use .sas. I'm saving this code, and it is saved under here. Yes, R code. Same thing, we can create the object alt minus X equal to 5. Value of Y is alt minus. This is called as the operator. We are assigning the value for X and Y. Value for Y is 6. And we are trying to find the sum of this sum function, sum of object or variable X and Y. Value is control enter 11. Let's do something else. Let's create a one dummy data set. This is what we usually do even when we learn a SAS, that we create a one dummy data set first. Here in a R, a data set is called as a data frame. But since we all are SAS programmer, still use the term data set here. There is nothing wrong in that. We can still say it as data set. So let's create a data set which will have a variable. So let's say we have a variable. We have a variable's first name. Name has the value as, let's say, A. And as always, this is a character variable. So you need to mention this within the quotation you have to mention. First variable you have created is name. There is no need of a semicolon. Second variable, let's say, is age. And one thing, R is a case sensitive language. SAS was not a case sensitive. Value for age is, let's say, it is 19. Value for sex variable is character variable M. We have created a 3 variable. Let's create a data set from this. So for that, we need to use a function called as data dot frame. And you will see the suggestion here. It is from the base package. These are the packages name it's coming up. So whatever function you are using, it belongs to certain packages or library. I'm using data frame to create a data set and then mention the variables. So I will have in this data set, I will have name and age. After comma you mention, and then we wanted to have a sex variable. We are creating a data set using this 3 variable. And we need to assign this data set to some data set name. I have used the function, but I'm not assigning it to some data set. So whatever the value would come up, that one I will assign to a data set, let's say test. Again, use the assignment operator. That means whatever the value is coming up from this data set, from this function, would be assigned to a test data set. If I run this, let's see what happens. Select everything and control enter. And you can see your data set is created. Data set name is test. It has 1 observation and 3 variable. To view this data set, by default, it will not display the data set in your software, in your application. In a SAS, if you run our program, by default, we can see our data set in a output tab. Or if you're running a procedure, something, it will come in a result tab. But that's not the case in a R program. You have to use the function to see the data set. The first function is to view the data set is just view. And you can just mention your data set name. If I run this, see here, this is your data set. Another way is, if you don't wanted to use this function, you can directly come up here and double click on this. It will open the data set. If you don't want to use the function. In a real time, we don't have to write the view. Because if you're running this data set, we are running the code, we can directly double click. This is much easier than writing the program here.